So, Charles, the Secret Service and local police were actually informed that this man who was possibly suicidal was on his way from Indiana to D.C. on Saturday. So, why did it take so long to get him, and how did he get so close to the White House before, obviously, the confrontation and they stopped him?
Yeah, well, it shows how important intelligence and information sharing is to the mission of the Secret Service. We saw it not work in Butler, Pennsylvania, and we saw it work very, very well in the national capital region, where they've got a lot of experience like this. This is not uncommon, unfortunately, where people travel cross country to make their way to the White House to make their grievances known. Usually we're dealing with people in a mental health crisis here, or wanting to, as in this case, commit suicide by cop, which is a big problem. So the authorities are familiar with this. It took so long because they had the description of the vehicle, they had the description of the individual. Now they needed to find them. So you essentially had the entire Washington, D.C. area being canvassed by all of the law enforcement agencies to identify him. And they found him on 17th and F Street, which is close, but not that close.
Yeah, you know, Charles, as Ronald mentioned, there's obviously a growing problem about this trend called suicide by cop, where basically people are going to confront police and hope that the police officer ends their life. Do we think that was probably the case here, or do we think this person actually wanted to pose a threat to the president, even though I should say he wasn't at the White House at the time, he was down at Mar-a-Lago?
Yeah, in most cases, these individuals know they're going to get nowhere close to the president, especially in a location like the White House. So what they want to do is they choose that location to bring national notoriety to whatever their issue is. And again, what their issues are may never make sense to you and I. Oftentimes we'd interview these types of folks and they'd make no sense at all in terms of why they made their way to the White House. Some believe they're related to the president. Some believe that there's secret messages being relayed between the president and these individuals. So they're really conspiratorial and make no sense in the long run. But the problem is that some of these people are in fact armed, do present a danger more so to the public, and they want to take the easy way out and make somebody else end their life.
Yeah, Ron, you know, obviously I spent a lot of time as a member of the White House staff during the first administration, spent a lot of time in the bubble, the protective bubble, and the Secret Service agents used to remind us all the time, we don't carry pepper spray, tasers, mace. We have one response, and that's obviously to eliminate the threat. And is that actually encouraging this? Because you know that if you're going to confront a Secret Service agent outside of the White House, that's likely their response.
Well, I think what's important about this incident is that the uniformed officers took down this individual without any hesitation. And I think that's a testimony to the director, because the director sets the expectations. Is the director going to, go for second guessing or for cover-ups? The new director, Sean Curran, was the guy in charge. He's the person who shielded President Trump in Butler, and he was appointed by Trump on January 22nd. In contrast, you had the previous director appointed by Biden, Kimberly Cheadle, who lied about what happened in Butler. There were about a dozen missteps. She claimed that they couldn't put agents on the sloping roof because it was too sloping. That was just absurd. And she devoted a lot of her time to DEI goals and wanted agents to be 30% female. And then before that, you had Julia Pearson as director appointed by President Obama. And what happened there? Omar Gonzalez penetrated into the White House, and then she lied about what happened, claimed he was not armed. He was armed, claimed he did not penetrate the White House, and in fact, he had penetrated all the way through. And going back, you had agents hiring prostitutes, a story that I broke. So that just gives you a snapshot of how important the director is in the performance of the Secret Service.
Yeah, Charles, so we're going to see the new director ceremonially sworn in this afternoon, actually, in the Oval Office, according to the president's daily schedule.